Better late than never. Little testing. See if this works here. You hear the bus and the garbage can and everything else rolling by. Hey, yo. I don't know which camera to talk into. It's the first MIME show. MIME in the morning. Money is made early in the morning. Gonna go till 9. It's 8:08. We got started a little late. It was supposed to be 6 a.m., but I had to get the kid to school and everything. I'm gonna cover some topics and get some stuff out there. It's gonna be posted on our YouTube channel. So if you're not currently following the Black Sox Pro Baseball YouTube channel, definitely go there and give it a subscribe. Put some comments on this video, other videos, comment on my posts. You can hate on me, you can talk shit. You can steal players from there, go see the likes and find the players and steal them. You can do whatever you want on there, but I really can't do it the same way I've been doing it anymore. So it's going to be different. It's going to be great, and that's why we now have the MIME Show. MIME, M-I-M-E, money is made early, fellas, early in the morning before the people in California wake up. When I used to work in the Pacific Association in California, I would wake up after long nights of games and drinking. I'd wake up at 4, 5, 6 a.m. because then I could be awake by the time the East Coast was awake and already working. So I'd stay up to date on transactions and things that were happening with managers and teams and scores from the night before and all sorts of things. A lot of guys playing right now in 2025 have no idea what I'm talking about because they did not experience the Pacific Association, which its last year was in 2019. And then obviously COVID happened and we started the Yinzer Baseball Confederacy and became a professional team and a professional organization. And we've been pretty much on the East Coast since then. The furthest west that I went was for a California tryout in January with Sip Garza from Charleston and Owen Reed from Chicago and a couple of our other Black Sox guys. And we put on an event out there last January where we signed a couple of players to the Oakland Ballers and some other places along the way. But finally this year in 2025, we'll make our way back to California, play against Oakland, play against Yuba. I get to see some things out there that we haven't seen since 2016 to 2019. So in today's first MIME episode, we'll cover that tour schedule that takes us to California on May 18th, and it starts all the way in Charleston on April 18th. It's a month-long event. We've got 22 games for it right now. We'll cover what just happened this weekend with the Mariners tournament, the Sewaren Mariners, and the, I don't even know what tournament this thing was called, but finished second of 20 teams in that. Also cover some other news and happenings in the Black Sox and in the baseball world. And I really want to get into it. I'm going to get into it. People are probably going to be mad at me. But I really don't give a shit anymore because here's what I did. Let me explain what I did. This will take a couple minutes. And that's why we're going to do an hour. It's going to be early, preferably 6 or 7. We'll make sure we get it in every day if it's going good with you. If it's going good with you, we'll keep doing it. It's like Wu-Tang. You know what Wu-Tang is? Wu-Tang shows up to perform. If you're dog shit, if you're weed as swag, if you're disrespectful in the crowd, if you're soft, they're going to play for 45 minutes and split. You show up to Wu-Tang and you passing up on stage and you brought the hoe train, they might play for 3 hours, invite you backstage. That's what this is. And I've been doing this for over 20 years, running a team, running the Black Sox now for over 20 years, and being involved in professional baseball heavily for over the last 10 years. I've really poured it out for everybody, and I can't do it anymore. So what happened to me was this year of January 2025, I made a deal that I'm doing no more phone calls. And I've probably had a few 40-minute phone calls, maybe too many that I would like, but not more than 5. I don't think I've had more than 5 40-minute phone calls, and I refuse to have any more phone calls with any more rookies. I've got Randy Reed from the Chicago Dogs calling guys. I got Aaron Brill, who just went to the championship with Charleston and has been a pro, just retired and came out of retirement for 2 years, after 2 years and signed in the Atlantic League last year, calling guys. I got PJ Phillips in Charleston calling guys. I got Aaron Miles in Oakland calling guys. I got dudes that are in the program calling guys like, yeah, I'm watching Joe sign guys every day. I'm posting on Instagram 2 signings a week for 6 years straight. And I still got to have 40-minute conversations. I ain't having no more 40-minute conversations. 40-minute conversations are going to be right here at the MIME Show in the morning, MIME Show conversations, where you can come back and hit me with the shit. Tell me. We're not soft, Joe. We do want to play. Times are just different. It's not our parents' fault. Don't talk about my dad like that. We can do that right here instead of me doing it 40 minutes of phone call with 1,000 different guys. Because here's a guy on this story that I saw yesterday coaching a kids game, or 2 days ago in Palm Beach, Miguel Alba. Miguel Alba is one of the very few, and my guys actually who get it done, I mean, they are the few, but Miguel Alba is one of the few where the 40-minute and maybe several 40-minute conversations we had, and I'll make note of that. We'll make sure that we look up the Alba call times that it took to get him signed. A couple of calls with this kid. He leaves South Florida, drives up to the Northeast midsummer, throws for Frontier League teams, and signed. That could have been a bunch of South Florida guys. It was one guy. Maverick League. Eric Turner wants to get out of there. I tell him, pay me, hit the road. Drives across country. Throws for 2 Big League World Series champions. They don't take him. He winds up with the Chicago Dogs, playoff roster. He's invited back to spring training in 2025. Eric Turner. One guy in the Maverick did what he should have did. One guy in Florida did what he should have did. You can do it however you want to do it, fellas. You guys do this thing however you want to do it. And that's why I'm done with the 40-minute conversations. That's what these videos are for. These videos are for to teach you how to do this without having to waste my time anymore. And I can live a better life because I don't need to make 10 40-minute conversations a day for a bunch of guys to then, when it doesn't work out with the Black Sox, because we're the reason that this happened to you, you got to go take 6 other guys to the Maverick with you. I'm all for guys playing in whatever leagues, man. I played in the fake-ass IBL in Ohio. I played in the Pecos League. I played in the California Winter League. I played in so many leagues, so many places all over this country. I played for the San Jose Marlins in Fresno. I played for the Pittsburgh Men's League when I wasn't in the Pacific Association. I've played and done more things, so I understand. But the difference is I'm bringing people around with me, following me to get there. I'm not bringing people with me because it's not working out for me. I didn't run away from anybody when it didn't work out for me. But let's talk about why it worked out for me. You know why it's worked out with me and everything's okay with me? Because I knew in the beginning I wasn't going to the big leagues. Sorry, I'm realistic. I'm sorry. You can have so much more fun with this once you're realistic. I really had that, now that I think back on it, the best baseball time ever. And I want to tell those stories here. I don't want to tell those stories in 40-minute conversations with guys that are going to be doing real estate in 3 months. We're going to go YouTube every day, comments, drop it on me. I'll talk about what you want to talk about. You want to talk about why you shouldn't have a car? Let's talk about it. You want to talk about that chick? Let's talk about it. I really don't care. Those are the reasons you guys are here. And I know it because I did it for over 20 years. And so what I did was, over 3 years ago, I put down drinking. Not coffee, obviously. But I haven't had a sip of alcohol in over 3 years. And in that 3 years that I haven't drank, over 3 years, every day, everything is more clear. Every day. It ain't getting any foggier, even if I try. So I got to talk about the things I'm seeing. I can't keep it in anymore. My first phone call of the day. It's 8:16 in the morning. I just woke up a young Canadian player. I called him. I hope it woke him up. I gave him 20 minutes of my time. Because he's a guy that I got from a guy that I've helped sign before, that's coming to play for me now, and is part of a referral program, and he's trying to help get young players, especially Canadian players, into pro baseball and sign, like Brandon Dadson, like Jimmy Smybert. And actually, Dadson's actually doing the same exact thing, bringing young Canadian players down here to get them signed. But what he's not doing is telling a bunch of guys that can't sign in the United States to go to workouts that they can't sign at, which is going to be like your first bad relationship if you're a college kid or a Canadian kid. This is going to be your first bad relationship. And this is how I relate and I equate this baseball thing, because this is how guys text me now. And that's why I'm not talking to guys anymore. I'm not talking to guys for 40 minutes and then 4 years, and then all of a sudden you're going to not text the only guy hitting you up that gives a shit what you're doing. I'm not doing it anymore. I never ghosted anybody to get here, unless I wanted to ghost you and it was over. But as a player, you ghosted me? I don't care. It's fine. But what the fuck am I having the 40-minute conversations for? I don't care anymore. So we're just going to talk about all those situations here. And we're going to make a ghost list. Note the ghost list. And I want to know how many guys on the ghost list that it works out for. How many guys on the ghost list that go to their new professional opportunity and it actually works out. I want to know how many guys on the ghost list that have professional baseball player written next to their name, and the only reason they have that is because I invited them to a stadium to work out one time. That's it. So let's keep track of a ghost list. We're definitely going to do that. We're definitely going to keep track of the guys who should have, like the guys who left the Maverick and the guys who left Florida. And I'm not saying everybody should do it. And I agree with playing as much baseball as possible. What I don't agree with is when guys say in the very beginning, and it really kills me when the purpose of your life is you've been put here to play professional baseball. You've been put here to go to the big leagues. So, okay, this is what you're telling me you're here for. These are your actions. I'm here to go to the big leagues. Oh, I say, well, I know how to do that. I know. It's not going to happen. You need to be realistic. But let's go this way. This is the way. You're like, no. Nah, I'm going to go to the big leagues this way. Because that's how everybody gets to the big leagues. Everybody gets to the big leagues on delivering DoorDash. They deliver food. That's how guys got to the big leagues. Just straight up doing deliveries all day, come home, eat a snack, go back, do some deliveries, smoke a blunt, eat a snack, go do some deliveries, play a game. That's how they all got there. It's amazing. I'm reading the book right now, How to Get to the Big Leagues. So you are not being direct with what you're saying to me in the very beginning, but I'm treating you like you are. I'm going to trust you until I shouldn't trust you. That's why I only deal with the things that I deal with. This Canadian kid, obviously, that I called this morning, wants to go to the big leagues. The Canadian kid, his first relationship is, I went to this thing, it was horribly organized, there were too many guys, and I don't know what I was there for. And now my parents, who are paying my bill, that I'm living with, that paid to put me to college, that paid me to do everything I've done so far in my life, now I really want to do this Black Sox thing because it's awesome. I could develop as a pro, I could play hundreds of games. Joe actually gave me about 40 references of Canadians where it doesn't work out for, and then ones that it does work out for, and then all the managers, all the teams, how it breaks down, what would realistically happen in the summer, would you sign, would you not sign, where would you have to go, what would you have to do, what's really the path for a Jimmy Smybert. Jimmy Smybert got a visa in the Atlantic League when he came to Florida for almost the entire duration of his 6 months to get the visa. He didn't go to Australia. He didn't play in the IBL that year. He stayed in Florida from the minute the offseason ended, hit his 50 homers, and signed with the Charleston Dirty Birds and got a visa in the Atlantic League. What ended up happening, getting released, winding up in Quebec, was bad for him because if he had signed with an American team within the period that he was released, he could have had that visa transferred and still had a visa and played in the U.S. Instead, he went to Quebec, got released, and then there was nowhere to go. And these are the reasons guys are paying me. So this kid's questioning, should I pay money to play in the summer? And it's like, it's not to play in the summer. It's for this information right now. Brandon Dadson, you see him signing in Fargo. How's Brandon Dadson getting a visa in Fargo? Because in 24, 23, 22, and those 3 years, he played in Canada. In 21, he played in Canada also, but not for a Canadian team. He played in the American Association against Winnipeg because it was the year after COVID and they needed to fill the second half of their schedule with home games. He played for about 3 or 4 teams because he was over the border, he was Canadian, he was good enough, and he was in the Yinzer with me. And so all these names that we mentioned, a lot of these names that we mentioned, they played in the Yinzer. So this is going to be my video to explain to Canadian guys exactly what to do. If somebody told you to fly across the country to work out for one guy, one team, you could have done that at the Frontier League draft. Okay? If you're a foreign guy and you want to get in touch with Bobby Brown in Ottawa and you just can't link up the schedule with the California Winter League and this and that, you could go to the Pioneer League tryout, link up with us, which is a bunch of teams. I'm going to talk to Bobby. You could get in front of all the Pioneer League teams, and you might be saying, well, I'm a foreigner. I need a visa. Why would I go work out for all the Pioneer League teams? Because there's probably connections within those managers of those Pioneer League teams that could help a guy like you out if you had the mentality to get helped out like that. But you don't have the mentality to get helped out like that because you really don't know anything about what you're trying to accomplish. And that's basically what I got the guy to admit within 20 minutes was, and like in 5 minutes, was you don't even know what you're trying to do. You don't even know what you're talking about. So I'm done talking to people who don't know what they're trying to do when I know exactly what to do, and it's my profession, and I don't do anything else but this to get the runaround. I'm done getting the runaround, fellas. We're just going to use people as exact examples. The specific example of what happened to this guy is going to be in these videos so we can track, we can make notes, and then I can boom, click, copy, paste, send the video to the guy. This is why this is happening to you. And there's so many topics I want to cover that I know I could be good every day. And I really do feel that if I do this 40 minutes, if I do this 1 hour a morning with you guys, I'll get it off my chest. I'll feel better about everything. And that's what I'm going to do. Because I feel like if I don't do it, it's going to be a cycle. It's going to be a circle. And that's what I was in back when I was drinking. I was in a cycle of just trying to play, living on the road, having nothing, beating myself down, knowing that it was the grind, doing the, really doing the burnout. And for you guys, this is the thing with the burnout. You guys don't burn out. You guys don't know how to burn out. So let's talk about the burnout. Let's put that on there. And we're going to discuss these things in depth and go back and do research on them and go back and hit them. And you can ask questions about them if you don't know. But that's one of the biggest things is guys are not burning out properly. So from the young age that you thought that you were going to the big leagues, whatever, as you're like developing. And this is where I made it further than a lot of guys as young kids who played in travel ball and all these different sports and were really these great athletes. I really wasn't when I was younger. But what I had was I knew how to burn out. I knew how to build up, break down, burn out. I knew how to go nonstop, bring it up, intense, and then not just keep going weekly forever like a lot of guys do. And that's what all these guys are doing. All these dudes are doing are just dragging this thing out forever, and that's why you suck, and that's why you always suck, and that's why it is what it's going to be. For the guy that just hit me up on Instagram about the Canadien thing, Lopez, I can work for you. We can set it up and we can do it officially, and I can look into it and do my homework and help you out. I'd be happy to, but you got to hit me up on the side, and you'd have to be one of my guys. And that's exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing this is I'm done helping guys that are not my guys. I'm done helping guys that leave us and go deter other people to do the wrong thing because I feel so bad for this Canadian kid. Think about it. Let's stay on this topic. This Canadian kid goes to this workout in Arizona. For a guy that signed as many guys as I'm going to sign in the first 3 months in his life, okay? I've signed probably more players to Canadian teams than he will if he did this for 40 years. It's okay that he went there. It's okay, the kid said, to get the experience. It's okay that people want to do things and need to set things up and feel good about themselves. That's great. But what's not okay is that anybody at this Arizona, whether it's a manager or the guy that set it up, or it's the California Winter League, or it's wherever, whether it's the Frontier League draft, whether it's the Pioneer League tryout, and this is the big thing that's missing in professional baseball, and this is where everybody needs to come together and cut the shit and help these guys out, because this is the thing. I love everybody. I love that you do your thing and that you do the thing over there that you do. I don't mind. But as soon as you find out that someone doesn't like me, you use it to your advantage. Because the real truth is to tell this kid what I'm telling him. But if you know that guys have not enjoyed my thing and had a bad experience in the past, then you don't care about people that can really help them. You care about them spending that money that they were going to spend with me, with you. And that's the bottom line. I don't care about what money anybody spends anywhere because I've been doing this for over 20 years. I could have 0 membership guys right now and I could go on the road, put teams together and beat ass. I don't do this for money. I was a player. I didn't play in high school. I didn't play in college. And we'll add the Joe Torre story to the list of things to talk about in the future. But that's not what this is about right now. This is about why a Canadian kid went to Arizona to date a chick that wasn't what he thought it was. Because then he's got to go back home and validate to his parents, I want to go do this next thing. And his parents are like, well, that last chick was pretty mean to you. Do you want to get abused again? And this is exactly what players are. They text me like abused. Joe. They text me like I'm a chick that they're fighting with. I really don't fight in text with chicks. I'm usually a face-to-face, or they just tell me it's over and then I go play my game. You guys are emotional. You guys keep it in. You guys are depressed in the first place, and you do have these bad experiences and all this other shit going on, and then it collides with baseball, and all of a sudden it's like one big mind fuck, and you guys are like, I know it. I see guys go nuts every year. I see guys lose it. I see guys quit. I see the most careers end out of anybody because I have the most going on. When you're playing a 30-game pro tour just in the spring, plus your 2 summer seasons, plus your off-season program, you are going to see a lot of shit. And that's why I'm coming out with this. That's why we're doing this healing network. That's why we're doing these MIME shows. It's for you. And I feel like in already 20 minutes, I feel way better explaining the things I've got to explain. And I'd rather just take the notes, copy, paste, go watch this YouTube video, and get over yourself and get over it. And if it helps a guy, it helps a guy. If it helps a lot of guys, it helps a lot of guys. If it causes a lot of shit, it causes a lot of shit. I really don't give a shit anymore. Because this is what's really happening. This is what really the problem is. What this is doing to players, I mean, now we're going to hit the real issue. The real issue is that all these guys are addicted to the black mirror, right? These guys are all addicted to chemicals and the black mirror. So the way that this thing is being marketed to these guys is exactly the way that they are manipulated. It's exactly the way that they're addicted. So you're hitting them the way that they need so they can get their feed, and then you're not telling them the truth, which is even better, because you found out a way to make money. The way to make money is to rely on how these guys are going to fail somewhere else. Why are these guys going to fail somewhere else? Because someone is being real with them. So you wouldn't take that same business model and be like, I'm going to be real with them too. No, you're going to praise Jesus and tell them to come back for the next tryout, which they shouldn't have went to in the first place because nobody can sign them. No one's getting this kid a visa. And even if he balls out this year or whatever, he's probably not getting signed to one of the two Canadian teams that would really sign him because one is Winnipeg and the other one is Quebec, and the other two might do it, but they probably won't. Be real with the guy. Now the guy can sit back and be like, do I really want to do this? Because what will happen to you, and this is the advice for everybody that's doing what I do and wants to do what I do. Let me tell you what's going to happen to you. If you're a real person, which we're already, I don't think we're in the same conversation. It's not going to work out for them, and then you're going to get a bad name. And this is why I'm done helping people individually. I'm helping people in this setting. I'll help you on YouTube. I'll help you on Instagram Live. I'll help you when you pay me and we can do the phone call. I am no longer doing 40-minute conversations. The MIME Show is for that. The MIME Show is for 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, whatever time we decide. We're going to cut it before 9 today. So if you have comments and you want to throw them on this Instagram right now, we're on Instagram Live as well as this YouTube. And maybe we'll do YouTube Live. We'll bring other people in. We'll talk about all conversations. We'll cover everything. But if you have them, hit me with them. Tell me your concerns. Be like, Joe, this is what you're missing. Joe, this is what the players need. Joe, this is what's going on, and even in my program, and tell me. Because all I've tried to do the entire time that I've done this is make it good for a guy like me. Because a guy like me knew nothing. No high school, no college, fellas. How do you think I got down to South Florida? How do you think I started doing this? You don't think I got scammed right out of the gate? Who would take my money? Who would take the money of a guy that never played anywhere, and based on his men's league stats, it justified taking several $1,000s from him? How do you think I got here? They just shouldn't have let me drive the van. They shouldn't have let me drive the bus. They shouldn't have showed me how the hotels worked out. Because I'm not Dogecoin. I'm not the copycat barnstorming scams. I'm not directional. I'm not the La La Boys. I'm not any of that shit. You guys, I'm giving you the fucking keys. I'm showing you how to drive this van. I'm laying it out for you. And the reason that it can't be duplicated, the reason no one can do what we're doing is because you're not me. That's why. But you know what you could do? You could work with me. You know why you won't work with me? Because you think it won't work for you. But don't you think that I got here by working with people that I knew, I'm better than that. That's how I got here. I wanted to surround myself with people who were better than me. That's why I'm with PJ Phillips. That's why I was with Dennis Pelfrey. That's why I was with Greg Taggart. That's why I was with all these dudes, even my guys that are around me. Owen Reith is a better human than I. Cole Bombalis, Aaron Brill, Luke Jackson, Billy Lanford, the list goes on and on. These people are in my life, the people I surround myself with. These are not just like baseball people that we know. These are the best people in my life that I know. Anybody that I'm surrounding myself with in my organization, my brother, my mom, my family, my whatever, my connections in Aaron Miles in California, my guys in the Chicago area, my guys in the Texas area, those people I know are the best people, not baseball people. So you've got to understand that what this comes down to is that the people in this don't like those people either. How are they not dealing with Randy Reith? How are they not hitting up these dudes? How is everybody not all on the same page? How can you not want to work with people that help people? Maybe you don't really want to help people. And that's why I'm doing this. Because I can't continue to help thousands of guys and get hurt all the time. Because the people that try to help the most people will get hurt the most. Because you're doing the most work. You're taking on the most on your shoulders. You're taking on a lot. You're taking on these people's depression. You're taking on their anxiety. You're taking on their worries, their fears. I get texts every day about what am I going to do in my college situation? What am I going to do in this high school situation? What do I do with this girl? What do I do with my life? Someone in my family died. This is what we're really dealing with. None of these other people are really dealing with that. They might be dealing with it on a small level. They know some people, whatever. But when you don't leave your backyard, what are you dealing with? So surround yourself, people that want to do what we're doing, with better people. We are open to working with everyone. I would have all of you guys come in here, just like Randy Reith and Billy Lanford and all those guys are going to shadow me, and I'm going to teach them how to coach, teach them how to manage, teach them how to move players and manipulate this and do this in a way that works for everyone instead of just works for 3 days or 3 weeks or whatever it is, because that's not the way to get it done. See, this is what everybody knows and the players don't know. And this is what I know and the players don't know, is that the game stays the same. Only you guys change. So they know that. They know that. And I know that. And the way we treat it is just completely different. I can't stop being authentically me. You know, I've had a problem. I tried to for a few years. I'm not going to lie. You know, I was quiet, man, from 2020, 2021, maybe still a little loud while I was drinking. And then 22, 23, 24, man. I mean, you guys might think I say something once in a while, but I really haven't said a fucking word, man. I've been quiet. And in that silence and sobriety, I have just been analyzing people and just watching people, watching myself, studying myself. What did I do in the past? What am I doing now? What are my patterns? What are my cycles that I need to break? And I just saw a lot of similarities with everybody else, and I saw that they were addicted to things that weren't even drugs and alcohol, which is crazy. And so the longer that I've been analyzing, and then I get to 2025 and I say, all right, this is what I'm gonna do in January. I'm really just gonna sit and watch and see if business is different, if I have 0 40-minute conversations, or if I have 100 40-minute conversations. Because every January I probably have 100 40-minute conversations. So I have 0. I try to have 0. I barely talk to anybody. Let's see if Christian Scalf, let's see what works out with him. Okay, we're going to use this one as an example. And I don't care anymore. This is what it's going to be. Let's use the examples to teach the boys so that we don't have to do this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. I'll give you an exact example of what happens when I call you in January and give you an hour. He might do it, he might not. Someone might find him, they might not. I don't know. But I know that I've signed, 7 guys since I talked to him. So January, a couple conversations. February, done. No more conversations. I studied in January and I saw that it's no different if I do it this way versus doing it the way I did it before. Actually, it's better. I'm at peace. I have way more peace. I'm not hitting on dudes that don't want to get hit on. That's what you guys are. You're a bunch of dudes that you want to get here. This is exactly how it goes. This is my favorite. You ready? You ready for this one? Where's Jordan Sickett? He's going to like this one. Hey, coach. Hey, how are you? I'm great. Yeah. Oh, I'm out here I'm training in my facility with my, yes. Oh, he played in AA. Yeah. Puerto Rico. Oh. Explain the organization to him. Yeah, we're a pay-to-play minor league developmental system. We sign 100 guys a year. We play 40 games against professional teams. We have 2 summer teams in the summer that play over 80 games. This year, they're going to play over 80 games. Year-round developmental program. You could come down here and get signed right now. What are you looking to do, though? You want to play you want to go back to college? You want to well, I want to go to the big league. Obviously, the ultimate dream. The dream, really. Oh, come on. The dream. Everybody says the same fucking thing. Everybody. If I ask any of my guys right now and that's your fucking answer, shut up, okay? Well, ultimately, bro, I've been watching your actions. But, okay, get back to the phone call. Oh, yeah, I mean, the big leagues, but, the highest level, I could, And then I explain, more, all right, let me talk to your parents. I want to talk to your parents because they're the ones that have paid for your whole life. And I don't want to explain this to someone that doesn't know anything they're talking about. And then it just turns into, all right, bet, dog. Let me give them my people. And I'm like, wait, is this the same guy? What a transition. Because every email says that. I'm looking for any affiliated opportunity, any indie ball opportunity. I tell every guy the same thing. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, you are because you don't know what you're doing. But really, you don't want any affiliated opportunity. You don't want any indie ball opportunity. You don't just want any opportunity. That's the problem with this generation. College was so glorious that they'll just take any opportunity. They'll just do anything. Nobody needs to take any opportunity. You just take any job that was offered to you where you could dress however you want and act however you want and treat people however you want and have whatever record you want, whatever ERA you want and throw whatever pitches you want and have whatever shitty batting average that you want and make as many errors as you want. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. And affiliated ball, fellas, I'm sick of hearing it, man. If you're unsigned, you're not signing to affiliated ball. That's it. That's it. Game over. The scout days are done. Everything ended. Are you all happy now that you got to throw your bullpens? The way to sign to professional baseball is to get your contract purchased from an MLB partner league. And there's only 3 of them. The Atlantic League is not. You guys know everything. You're all over this. I see you. Black mirror glued to your forehead. You don't know how many MLB partner leagues there are. You think you're going to affiliated ball without indie ball, and you're looking for any affiliated opportunity, and then your voice changes when I tell you got to spend $1,000. The truth is, that you need to spend $1,000. All the guys training themselves at Crunch Fitness, good luck. All the guys hitting off the tee in their buddy's batting cage, or not even, just on their own, off the tee to their music and posting reels and posting videos of you taking solo ground balls and all that, fellas, good luck. Let's track those people. We're going to track the eye wash. That's going to be part of our MIME show every morning. Track the eye wash. We'll track the players. We're going to track the rejections. It's like girlfriends, right? Like, see where that girl winds up. Yeah, I used to talk to her. What's she doing now? Ooh. You got the ghost list. You got the burnout story. You got the Joe Torre story. And you got the any opportunity thing. Wow, this is going to be, we're going to be pretty busy during the days. And we still haven't even covered the tour schedule or what just happened with the Mariners. So let's get to that. This first 30 minutes was banging. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I'm going to drop a lot more on you, and then I'm not going to talk to a single player all day, because it shouldn't take a 40-minute conversation for you to look at the different options of what you could do to sign in professional baseball and be like, okay, this guy's signing 2 players a week and over 100 players a year. This guy, I went to his thing and it sucked. This looks like a money... Fellas, let me tell you something. If you think it's a money grab, it's a money grab. If it feels like they're not being authentic with you, then they're not. If you think she's cheating on you, then she is. If you think you're fucking up the relationship, then you are. So I hate to break it to you. Brian McKenna said it best. You can't get scammed if you're good. Can't get scammed if you're good, man. A lot of good players spend money, get signed. My program, other programs, tryouts, all over the country. Whether it's indie ball jobs or what Casey Dill does or something in California with Bobby and Aaron and those guys, California Winter League tryout, tryouts that go on in Evansville, Ogden, all those places. People sign at those tryouts, fellas. So I'm sorry, it's not a money grab. They have a business to make money and they know how to do it, but it's not a money grab. They're signing players to teams to play professional baseball. I'm sorry. You cannot say that it's a money grab. You guys want to say it's a money grab because it's not as good as college. You guys think that college was so glorious. Of course it is. You got somebody else paying for your Chipotle 3 times a day. You're allowed to drink, shit your pants, do whatever you want, and then play the game. There's basically no rules. You think there are, but there's not. When you go to the next level, it's not. When you're sitting at a table and you're doing your signing day like 3 different times with 5 different schools, like it's eyewash, fellas, and it's the reason that you're all done playing after college. So that's why you think it's a money grab, because this generation is growing up thinking you need to hurry up and grow up and make money out of the gate. And the truth is that you don't. And when you're ready to make money and when you're ready to grow up and be a man, you will. And it will happen. But there's so many guys that tell me every day, like, I'm beyond this, I'm over this, I'm better than this, and all this shit. And they are really not. And I can't wait to see how their professional lives turn out, because baseball, which is supposed to be a professional task, turned out phenomenal. Let's get to the Mariners. Let's get to the tour and some of that stuff that's going up. But drop your comments in there. Throw some stuff on it. Go if you just joined us on the Instagram, go on the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, whatever. Shit on me. I really don't care anymore. Tomorrow morning, I want to have your comments to talk about, not what I want to talk about. Because every day, you guys got enough to give it back to me. And I don't mind to break it down, because I want to break it down, and we're going to take notes. And this is literally how I'm going to contact players. I do not want to talk to anybody anymore. It's your fault. You ruined it. And then they took advantage of you, and then they ruined it, and then it's just a vicious cycle. Yeah. But I can't be involved. And again, before I get down to the nitty-gritty, you dudes that feel offended, don't take it personal, man. Don't take it personal, you know. Take it from someone who gets shit on a lot. I'm not shitting on you. If you want to work with the guy who's going to do the most in the country, be in the most places with the most people, do the most things, make the most connections, sign the most players, and more importantly, help the most people, call me. We can work together. I'll be running the 2 Pioneer League tryouts, the one that's in Davenport, February 21st to 23rd, where they're going to sign 12 guys. The one in April 15th to 17th in Arizona, they're going to sign 12 guys. 24 players are going to get signed at those tryouts, fellas, and you're going to be sending your tryouts players there, and I'm going to be running it with my Black Sox guys. It's a phenomenal event, phenomenal organization. Frontier League Draft, go there. Great managers, great people, great coaches. You can meet the people from the California Winter League there, talk to Justin Reschke, go get an experience out there. You know, not enough guys are valuing playing rather than wondering if it's worth it. I mentioned earlier that I played in the California Winter League. It's extremely worth it. Any tryout where you're going to be in front of all the managers and a lot of the people at the same time are worth it. It's your mind that makes it not worth it. It's your trauma, your previous issues that you've had that make you think it's not worth it. What you guys should be doing is making enough money to do all of it. You should be making enough money to do everything that you want to do and more, so that it's not an issue. But I'll tell you how you're not going to make the money. You're not going to make the money doing lessons at a facility, guys. You're not going to make the money coaching a kids team for $2,000. You might make money coaching 4 kids teams for $3,000 at the same time if you could pull it off, but you won't, because you think you need to wake up and hit at noon and work out at 1, and you're wrong. And so I'm sorry, if you're a free agent and you're not working out before the sun comes up or at midnight, if you're not, packing your meals in Tupperware and meal prepping and doing all that, then I don't want to hear why you don't have the money to do every event. Oh, they're expensive, they're money grabs. No, because I did the same thing you were doing. I did it into my 30s, and I paid the California Winter League, and I played in it. I paid to be in the Frontier League draft. I went to it. I experienced all the same things that you guys were doing, and I had the money to do that and more because I had to work my ass off to do it. And back then, it wasn't through baseball. It wasn't through this business. It was through floors and doors and garage doors and all sorts of pizza delivery and just all sorts of friggin' jobs that, I get what has to be done. But if you guys aren't making $300-$400 a day, you're not trying. If you're doing lessons and you're just coaching kids, some guys are raking, man. Like those PA guys, power to you. If you're dominating, you're dominating. If you're building your way up, then be honest with yourself about what you're trying to do. I'm building my way up. I'm not going to make a killing doing this. So then find those other sources of income. Work overnight. Work, at a warehouse. Do whatever you got to do to go make good money, and stop beating on your cars at the same time, because that's not going to get it done either. But you should be able to do all of the events. You should be able to get in front of all the managers as much as possible, as often as possible. For the guys that are not going to this Pioneer League tryout this time around, you're an idiot. Shame on you. Because you went last year and you didn't get signed? Makes no sense. You watched 12 of your boys, 24 of your boys get signed. Why wouldn't you go back again? The odds are, if you did the right thing, now let's go back to the beginning of this. If you did the right thing and trust in your process and everything you're doing, going to the Volcano League, going here, going there, doing your thing, then you should be bringing your work, bringing your resume, bringing what you just did to the table for them and being like, look, here I am again a year later. Look how much better I am. Look at my power. Look at my arm. Look at what I'm doing. And you're not going to do that because you, who told me that you wanted to go to the big leagues right away in the first conversation, don't have the consistency and the tenacity to even go see 12 managers who you would never see those 12 managers. You're not seeing all 12 of those guys ever at the same time. Why wouldn't you do it? Like I said, even the visa guy. Go back to that conversation. Players just... It is what it is, man. But I would go to that workout again. I would go to every workout again. If you guys really believed in yourselves and you said that, and it was what you said that it was, then you would just go. We wouldn't even be talking about it. All right. On to the 2 things I really want to talk about while I got another 15 minutes. The Sewaren Mariners finished in 2nd place in this tournament that I don't even know where I was, what I was doing in Fort Pierce. 6 games in 3 days, run by Joe Lipari and Tom Colacavo from the Mariners. They are our summer South New Jersey team where we send players to get games and get at-bats. They got guys over 150 games last summer with their Sewaren Mariners and Brunswick White Sox and all their teams that we have down in New Jersey between my brother's team and their team. And we put a little tournament team together that was some of the Mariners guys, some of the NJ Sox guys that come from my brother, some of the Florida guys, a couple of new guys here and there. But it was a really solid 20-man roster. It was actually way better than I thought it was. They played way better than I thought they would. We got to run into some new guys, some new arms. We got to see some good competition. We ended up losing in the finals in Game 6. Tough schedule. They played Friday 9 a.m. and then had to wait. I think it was like a 4 o'clock game that started late on Friday, so that's already long day 1. Saturday turns into 9 a.m. game. Wait for the playoffs. Well, the playoffs are at 6:45 at night. And then Sunday becomes 9 a.m. and you got to play back-to-back to win the championship. The games I was there, the first game on Friday, we 10-run ruled them. It was awesome. They really showed what kind of offense they're supposed to be. Enrique Cruz threw a complete game like he should be doing in February, dominating. And that's what guys should be doing. If you guys are trying to play professional baseball, you want to play professional baseball, and you're not dominating at a lower level, and also you're not dominating BP, you're not dominating IO, you're not dominating the machine, you're not dominating throwing or whatever it is, then you're not going to dominate over 100-game professional season. So it's good to see these guys come in and dominate in every aspect of the game for the most part, the entire tournament until the last game, where we still did extremely well, scored 2 runs and lost. But Game 1, they 10-run him. Game 2, they 10-run him. Next day, Vitiello starts the game with a home. I think Vitiello started 2 games with a homer. Rupert Watson homered. Bujdos homered. The offense really is the best offense in America. I don't care what guys are taking live at bats or playing in the Schmick League or doing whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Any lineup of those 10 guys we just had in that Sewaren Mariners tournament is more prepared than every one of you guys hitting in a cage and taking live at bats and doing whatever. I don't care, because these guys have been playing games for the most part the entire way through. There are guys talking about, I hear them talking about when I walk by, I think I got 550 at bats this year. I think I got 600 at bats this year. I got a lot of work this year. I think this is like my 150th game. So there's no way, managers, which I hope you're watching, I think this would be more entertaining for you guys than anybody, right? There's no way that you guys are signing more prepared offensive players. There's no way. My guys have more at-bats, they're more locked in, and guys like Carson McCurdy, who are up there, who, his numbers aren't great on Baseball Reference, and, you've seen him in the past and whatever, but this dude has become a professional. He doesn't need to be the best. He's a professional. The at-bats that he had, the entire team should watch those ABs and see what it is to fill up the count, foul shit off, drive your pitches, really look for something, get it, and hit it, which is a quality at-bat like every time. The guy really, I thought, was our best player in the event just because, and he didn't hit as many doubles or home runs or even as some other guys, but he really put those at-bats together when no one else in the lineup would. So I know I had a manager last year specifically, even in the Frontier League, who was looking for those kinds of at-bats, and we had one guy, actually a Black Sox guy, that we could throw in there, and he's going to have that kind of at-bat. What kind of at-bat is that, fellas? It's not an at-bat where you're trying to get your swing off. So that's where the live at-bats thing for me is, there's no way you guys are better. It's an at-bat where you're still going to get your swing off, but you're going to work according to what? What is the most important thing in a game? What should your mind be on first and foremost over everything? It's the scoreboard. So McCurdy's mind works around the scoreboard. Our offense's mind works around the scoreboard. When we're losing, it's this. When we're tied, it's this. When we're winning, it's this. By how many runs determines what we do. And they really showed me as a group, the Sewaren Mariners, that they knew how to put the knife in and twist it. They knew how to attack. They knew how to drag it out. They knew when to bunt. And there were a lot of learning things, the curves along the way. Like we talked about all these situations, in the beginning, they were a little passive with the small ball. In the beginning, they were a little passive trying to get their cookies. In the beginning, they were, a little overzealous, maybe swinging at some breaking balls. And then later on, maybe they got a little passive as they got tired and the bodies got worn out and things happened. But really, it should speak volumes to you guys that played. I know I didn't get to talk to the group, but between everybody, between Goffstein and Brandt and Watson and just everybody, man, I don't want to leave anybody out. The entire offense did what they were supposed to do, not just for a tournament, but for me as a professional manager who's about to take you on the road to play against professional teams. I trust you more based on what you did. I also don't trust you more based on some things that you did, but that's the game, and that's exactly the things that we're talking about. So guys that don't know our program and don't know me and don't really know what I'm talking about, in this Mariners 6-game tournament that we played, there were so many discussions about things like staying out of center field in the air, things like why the showing bunt for some of the smaller guys and the quick guys will get them cookies, and then what to do with those cookies, counts to run in and not run in, base running situations at the wazoo. That's my game. That's my thing. My thing is score runs at third base and try to beat professional teams. So, I'm pretty good at that, and also judging what the other team is doing and what they're giving and the whole game, the lefties in the bullpen, the next guy's warming up, just all aspects and elements of the game where, a lot of talk about like McCurdy has one of these long at-bats and then a guy goes up and swings first pitch and it's like the inning ended, did we need to do that? And the guy's like, well, it was a good pitch to hit. Well, the runner wasn't in scoring position. So let's do the things that we need to do to get the fat pitches. One of the things we talked about, and maybe we could talk about it tomorrow if you guys want to know more about it, was taking strike two. Talked about taking strike two. I think taking strike two is almost as big as the 1-1 pimp. But things like that, really higher level, high level. It's funny, a guy on the other team asked me, like, as a baseball IQ guy, and I was like, I'm not a baseball IQ guy, man. I just play the scoreboard. I'm just watching. The scoreboard is the most important thing. And he asked me about a play where our runner was running towards him at second. He got a ground ball with less than 2 outs, and he asked me, should he have gotten that out or whatever? And I'm like, you're the one losing by 6. What do you want to do? Let him get to third, with less than 2 outs, or force that play, or what do you think you need to do? But these are the things that we're talking about, not just once a week on Sundays when we play, not once in a while when we go to our tryouts or tournaments or whatever. And honestly, guys, when you go to your tryouts and whatever you're doing, you ain't talking about this shit anyway. Let's be real. So things like that, higher level baseball, I really enjoyed being around. I think I was around 2, 3, 4 of the 6 games or something like that. And I really enjoyed being around the group, the offense, the entire team, everybody. The pitching staff did phenomenal between Cruz's first game and then Lipari, Marleveld, and Whitbeck game 2. And then Riera comes out, then the next morning, we end up getting a start out of Charnin, throw a couple position player guys. Charnin's going to be on the tour with us. Late game, Riera starts. He hangs around all day. Osvaldo Riera, I talk about him all the time. Throws him and his buddy come down. A guy released by the Cubs throw that second game on Saturday. Then Sunday morning, we show up. We throw Marleveld, 350 strikeouts in 2024. Nobody talks about it. 270 innings, 340 strikeouts. He goes the distance, beats the Indians. Great game to watch. Indians, really talented team. They put the bat on the ball. They got pretty good defense, pretty good arm up there, signed in the Frontier League to compete with. And knowing him and knowing kind of his tendencies and seeing how the guys are going to react against a guy that they know the starting pitcher that they're facing. So really was awesome to watch all that stuff. But then I know this last game is going to be bad. I know this last game we're going to be tired. I know that you can't do too much to try to stay up. It's been a long week, a long tournament, and you're gonna burn out. But this is exactly, go back earlier in this conversation, and obviously there's always a learning point in this, is the burnout. Guys need to learn how to burn out. Instead of just burn this thing at both ends and just burn it, and then boom, and then you're completely done. You're financially tapped, your baseball tapped, your life tapped, your girlfriend tapped, everything's tapped. Instead of do that, just learn how to build it up, and almost get sick, almost get physically sick. When you feel that physical sick coming on, that's the time to take a nap. That's the time to sleep an entire day. That's the time to maybe, schedule your work a little bit differently, or not work out, or not go to the gym, or eat a little bit more. Or maybe the gods will drop some rain on you because you've been living right and you get a day off. But you guys need to start to burn out efficiently, so then when it's time you sleep, you wake up and you come back and you're just boom, and you have more fire and you're stronger to go at a faster pace, a harder rate, so that way when you get to the games, when you get to the professional games and you got to scale it down, it's easy to do. It'll be easier to do if you treat it that way. If you don't treat it that way, I promise you fellas, you're going to get tired from a 4-hour drive, a 3-hour drive. You're going to get tired from from 2 games in a day. Like a lot of guys, we took the whole program down here right now. Most of them wouldn't have been able to do these 2 games a day. This group for the Sewaren Mariners that did this tournament in Fort Pierce, most of them played the entirety on defense. Utah caught, I think, back both games on both days at the end there. Marcano caught both games day 1. It's not easy. We're talking about catching 18 innings. Playing 18 innings as shortstop or center fielder, whatever, and then pitching at the end, Jared Bujdos. So this shows the tenacity, this shows the intestinal fortitude, and it shows me what these guys are made of. If you took the entire program down, I think a lot of them, and we had 2 injuries running the bases in the first 2 innings, honestly, on the first game Friday morning, and I thought, wow, 7 guys are going to drop here, and luckily it was only 2. And that's what's going to happen in Florida. Guys are going to come down and they're going to drop. Guys are going to be around and it's not going to work out. And so you got to know the reasons it's not going to work out. I promise you, if you wake up and you think you're waking up early and hustling and you're just delivering food, if you're working out in the middle of the day, if you're hitting off the tee, making your swing slow, if you're going out with your buddies on the weekend and doing whatever, if you're playing video games, if you're spending too much time on the Black Mirror, which I'm telling you, this is what we're doing with this program this year. No phones in my program. I don't want phones. I don't want you guys to be in the car driving next to each other on the phone. I think the phone is the problem. And for this group that was on the field that played these games, I bet that they're on the phones a lot less being down here in South Florida than the rest of the group. Even Colin Jensen, who's not even playing in this tournament, came up to watch the games and be part of the thing because he set it up. That's what we need. We need more guys who want to be part of it. The Brendan Maduros, the guys that just want to be there because it's better than being on your phone. It's better than playing Fortnite. It's better than whatever. And honestly, I don't know why I'm talking to 25-year-old men about playing Fortnite, but it's like an issue. It really is an issue. I'll tell you, guys drive themselves in the car because they want to smoke weed and be on the phone. That is the truth, fellas. So I don't want anybody driving around by themselves smoking weed anymore. And I don't want 2 guys in the car together, 3 guys, 1 guy driving on the phone and the other 2 guys on the phone. If you're a passenger in the car, on the tour, in Florida, heading up the highway, whatever it is, you are the eyes for the guy. You're his eyes. You're watching everything. You might be looking at the weather. You might be looking something up. You might be you might be the DJ. You might be something like that. But you're not on your phone. Fellas, It's killing you guys, I'm telling you, and I'm going to harp on it. The Black Mirror has ruined you. It's ruined us, it's ruined this, and it's why I can't have 40-minute conversations anymore, because no one can retain what's in the 40-minute conversations. So these videos right here are going to be, this happened at 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 11 minutes, 18 minutes. Here we are at 49 minutes talking about the Black Mirror. I can't wait to go do these show notes, and you're going to see Black Mirror, and then we'll do a little reel about it, and we'll talk shit about how the Black Mirror owns you, and that's why nobody knows anything about what they're trying to accomplish. That's really what it comes down to. Nobody fucking knows what they're trying to do, but everybody knows everything. Everybody's looking into everything, studying everything, learning how to hit online, learning how to throw online, throwing to a computer, hitting to a computer, doing all this shit, but what it comes down to is you don't know who the manager of Fargo is. The kid I was talking to this morning, the Canadien, doesn't know anything about this visa process. Nobody knows really why they went to Arizona. Like, think about it. You don't have money. You don't have any money. You see the Pioneer League Tryout. It's going to cost everything you got to get there, pay for it, and get home and eat and live for a couple days. You choose to go to an event that they don't have to sign anyone at. How could you not go to the event that they have to sign people at? They have to sign 12 guys. The Black Mirror fucking owns you, and you are all up in your feelings. You're all up in your emotions. That's the bottom line, and that's why you don't like me, because I'm someone who comes out and says, fuck your feelings. I always say it. Whenever a guy gets on the phone with me, I say, well, what do you think about your game? Like, what's the worst part of you? Well, I feel like you feel. Oh, you're all in your feelings. You feel. You've been telling people how you feel your whole life. But you really haven't. Because how you really feel is angry. How you really feel is betrayed. How you really feel is like it's never going to work out. How you really feel is like it's your college coach's fault or your mom's fault or your whatever's fault. You just don't want to say it. And so in these 3 years of sobriety and sitting here, and in this month of January, sitting back and watching everybody act, I got to tell you that here it comes. I can't wait for every morning. Really, I wasn't sure about doing this. I missed yesterday, obviously, because we had game in the morning, and, I was on the road all day, and now I got here, and I was like, all right, I'll finally do the first one. We were waiting for February 1st, and I want to see the reaction. But you got to react. You got to write something down. You could send me a personal message. You could send me a text message. I'm sure there's going to be some messages after this. I'm pretty much going to spend my day deciphering this to see what's the best way to give this information to the guys. And I didn't even get to the tour. We're going to skip the tour today because it's already 9 a.m. and I wanted to be out of here. But I didn't even cover the 22 games in now 30 days against 4 teams, which is the no-brainer. And this is what I'll leave it on. Guys are telling me they want to play professional baseball. We have games against professional baseball teams, and we're not crackheads. We're the guys that are going out beating the teams, signing the players. Everybody else doing this. I can't tell you who the fuck they're going to bring, but I guarantee they're going to bring some guys that I kicked out of my program. Maybe for crack. We'll end it on that. Over and out. Have a nice Monday. Hope everyone can go find themselves. You guys on Instagram, thanks for hanging out. We'll do this on the live. You can pass it to all your friends twice. They're probably not even up yet. On YouTube. Subscribe, like it, comment on it. 201-707-6299 is the business number. You can call in during this show tomorrow. We can talk live if you want to be on there, if you don't mind being heard. Maybe the pranksters, every time I play or I'm in New Jersey with the Indians or Mariners or whatever, I get my pranksters calling me. I had a nice 5-minute prank phone call the other day. It was great. And I love it. I'm like, hey, and they're like, hey, how you doing, man? I'm like, oh, you guys haven't pranked me in like 6 months. And they're like, yeah, we were busy, whatever. I'm like, oh, you must be at this tournament. They're like, oh, will you sign me? Oh, like call and ask those questions. Let's get after it, all right? But no more 40-minute conversations. If you want me, if you want this, send the money and I work for you. I work for you. If you don't waste my fucking time. I'm not all these other guys. I didn't hurt you. I'm not your ex. I didn't tell you to go to that workout where you couldn't get signed. I don't talk shit about other people. I tell you exactly how it is. I'd love to help those other people. Call me, and I will help you. Anybody. I'll go to your event. You pay me, I'll go. I'll sign players. I'll go there. I'll call managers. I'll help players out. They can go play on the tour. They can go play a valuable summer. They can go play professional baseball. They can learn how to be a professional. Or just don't call me. Don't call me.